This video will demonstrate and explain how to create a collage with a cut paper overlay. Student work seen here and throughout this video are from 8th grade students who enjoyed this assignment due to being able to choose what to draw for their focal point and then use craft knives to cut out all of the shapes. My husband, Ryan Thiele, and I have our students create a drawing or sketch first. And in their drawing, they draw something that they love as their focal point and use rhythm and movement or patterns to draw the eye to that focal point. We have our students then shade in the drawing so that they can see what areas are going to be removed using craft knives. Students are directed to keep a 1-inch border around the frame of the paper empty so that that area can remain intact when cutting. Before we start cutting with the craft knives, we do some practice work and we erase that border around the edge of the paper so that there's less to erase later when the paper is a little more delicate. At this point, we would be ready to begin removing all of the shapes that have been shaded in with pencil using the craft knife on a self-healing mat. Since our students will have already practiced using the knife, this process is usually very enjoyable for them. We like to have our students work on the larger shapes first and then work their way to the finer details, because if fine details need to be adjusted due to their complexity, they can adjust them at that later time. Sometimes when working, other parts will need to be adjusted as well. For example, here, as I'm working, I discover that the shape between the elbow and the torso would need to be adjusted so that that whole space wouldn't be removed. By simply adjusting my drawing to give the fist some space between the hand and the torso, I'm able to maintain that gap, showing that the arm is separate from the body, which is a really essential part of this image. As my students worked through this assignment, there were some mistakes that were made, and occasionally we would have to use a little bit of tape on the back side of the paper. In terms of which side is the front and which side is the back, you could choose to use either side as your front side, except for cases where there are letters or images that have to go in a specific direction. For my example here, I'm using my current side as the front, which means I did need to use an eraser and further erase some of the pencil lines. Now that the overlay is complete, it's time to start creating the collage. To create the collage, you first want to tape hinges using masking tape to connect the cut paper overlay to another sheet of paper that you will create your collage on top of. I will be using magazine images to create my collage, so all I need is a glue stick, scissors, and magazines. First, I just go through and I find colors that I want to use. When I have some colors ready, I'll then take a pencil and I will trace over the spaces that I'm going to need to fill in to cover that area on the other piece of paper. So I just put my pencil between the cutout areas and I just draw those shapes in. Now you could do this to the whole image first and just take care of all that pencil all at once, or you could do it in chunks. I really enjoyed the way the variety of colors and textures and patterns from magazines look to fill in these shapes, and I think that this is a nice break from some of the traditional painting and drawing techniques that students often use for adding color to their artwork. I hope this video helped explain how my husband and I do a project with collage and cut paper overlays with our students. Maybe you will want to give it a try yourself. Thanks for watching. Bye.